Hi, friends. I'm Scott Giles, and welcome to Power Talk, the podcast that I do once a week here on Facebook Live and later on my YouTube channel. Every week, I touch upon some topic related to hypno coaching or spirituality, as I am also a member of the clergy. Today, I want to talk about the benefits of personal organization, a theme I return to often on this podcast. Now, people who know me will tell you that I'm a highly organized person. But I wasn't always that way. In fact, one of my spiritual directors said at one point, Scott, your problem is that you're high energy and highly organized, and that's a really scary combination. He meant it as a joke, but there's an element of truth there too. But I wasn't always organized. In fact, I suspect that as a child, I had attention deficit disorder, and I either grew out of it or I simply compensated so well it's no longer a factor. But when I think back to my early childhood, I remember things that today we would immediately recognize as the hallmarks of a young person struggling with attention deficit. Uh, Chronically late with assignments, assignments incomplete, my teacher dumping my desk out in front of the entire class in primary grades because it was so messy. I got tired of being a failure that way, and I wanted to be effective and efficient. So I became task oriented and I became about getting things done. It was about high school that I really began to get a grip on this, and I don't claim credit for it myself. It was under the influence of a personal mentor, actually my first girlfriend, who was quite a bit older than I was. It was a very, very positive relationship for me historically, and she was the one who taught me the great secret. Write stuff down. Once you've got it out of your head and onto a piece of paper, it's possible to deal with it, to organize it, to figure out what to do next. Until you write stuff down, you don't have that advantage. So, under her influence, I learned to organize my class notes, grades improved, things got done easier, and I began to develop other methods of being more organized. Always so I could be effective because I got tired as a child of being a failure. Now, eventually, I adopted a formal system. This was in college. I came across a book by a man named Alan Lakin called How to Get Control of Your Time and Life. Still a classic in time management, and you can find copies in print even to this day. It's basically an introduction to how to keep a to-do list. But it was a simple tool and it worked for me. And so I used it and I began to improve upon it. I actually use a number of formal systems now. There is the Getting Things Done system of David Allen, a time management guru in California, and I've used his system for decades. The Bullet Journal system developed by Ryder Carroll, the Fly Lady system of housework, and the KonMari system developed by Marie Kondo based upon Japanese sensitivities regarding clutter. So here's how they work for me. First, getting things done. David Allen teaches at core that first insight that I got from my girlfriend. Write stuff down. Don't use your head to store information. Get it out of your head and into some simple, trustworthy system. And the system has to be simple because if it's not simple, you won't maintain it, it will leak information, and you won't be able to trust it, and it becomes worthless. Or even worse than worthless because it could mess you up. Um, what One of the things that David Allen says is your system has to be so simple that you can maintain it on a rainy Monday morning when you have a bad flu. And I have found this to be true. The other thing I use is the bullet journal system. Now, I've kept a journal as a way of processing my feelings since I was 15. The bullet journal is a merging of task management, productivity, and self-reflection. It does both. And it's based upon the insight that reflection doesn't have to be something special that you stop what you're doing and go and do instead. Instead, reflection can become a way of doing what you are already doing. And a bullet journal practitioner uses the journal to keep their tasks organized once you've gotten them out of your head, but also it's a way of dialoguing with yourself about what's happening, how you're feeling about it, looking for insights, looking for options. I found that to be extremely helpful. The FlyLady system, flylady.net if you're curious, is a system of household organization. When Lindsay and I got married, I was marrying a handicapped woman, and that meant that the housework would be my responsibility. To be able to get that done and also to run my practice and discharge my other responsibilities, I had to have an orderly way of doing that. And the FlyLady system teaches you to break your home up into zones, to spend a specific amount of time each day in one of the zones. The use of careful rules like when you dust, move around the room in a clockwise fashion, make the bed as soon as you get up. When you fill the car tank with gas, clean out the car while you got a garbage can right there at the gas station, things like that. Very helpful. And the KonMari system, which is to organize your environment for ease of cleanup. Have everything you need to be happy, but only what you need, she teaches. Don't have a lot of superfluous stuff. Don't become a prisoner to your stuff. And that's very easy for that to happen. When my first marriage ended after 13 years, I ended up with a lot of the stuff that we had accumulated because my departing first wife didn't want to take it. And I very quickly realized why. She wasn't being generous. It was that all that stuff required a lot of maintenance to keep up. And I quickly realized that the maintenance on my stuff was taking a lot of time and energy that I could more profitably invest elsewhere. So I got rid of the stuff and adopted a more minimalist lifestyle. I have what I need, and typically in the highest quality, but I don't have a whole lot more than what I need. And I organize that stuff in my environment to make it easy to put stuff away. Like if you walked into my kitchen, you would see the counters are largely bare. Unless I'm using something constantly, like my wok or my air fryer, it's not on the counter. Because the empty counters are way easier to clean and to keep properly caught up. So, I'm always looking for ways to improve my productivity, even if what I'm doing now is working well enough. You can always improve, you can always do it better. So those are the rules. Write stuff down. Make reflection a part of everything you do instead of something special that you'll do, because if you make it something special, you probably won't do it and your productivity will suffer. Break large projects down into smaller steps. That's a David Allen thing. And the KonMari insight, don't become a prisoner to your stuff. Have what you need, but not a whole lot more than you need. And upgrade if there's a real advance that will save you time and save you clutter, but don't just upgrade because it's the latest toy. So those are my tips for personal organization. Make of them what you will. Getting things done, the bullet journal, the FlyLady system, and the KonMari system. And they enabled this guy, as a child, I suspect with ADD, to completely turn that around and become productive. Maintaining a clean house, even though it's my primary responsibility, running a busy hypno-coaching practice, and also discharging my professional responsibilities as a community minister, and I've even been president of the Ministerial Association in my denomination for community ministers, and I'm a member of the advisory board of the National Guild of Hypnotists and a regular columnist in its journal. So a lot of stuff hits my inbox, but I have it all in balance because of personal organization. I recommend it. Thank you much for your time and attention. If I can be of help to you, please feel free to reach out. It does help me if you share my videos, so please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Take care of yourself, stay well, and stay safe.